All right, good day. It's a new one. I've been farting around a little bit. Didn't change my wardrobe because it's the same day from last week. Just trying to churn a bunch of stuff out while I'm got a little pep in my step. So welcome back. Also, thanks for subscribing. Those have been sticking with us for a while. I know it's been kind of mundane lately, just a lot of little trinkety stuff, but there's going to be lots of stuff coming that will probably be bigger. I might crack into that LJ, Tanya's. There's a few things kind of bigger wrong with it that we need to dig into. Welcome to the show. So I farted around just briefly, kind of off camera. I was going to record it, but it's just, I was trying to do get rid of the Immobilizer dash light that was there. Because now that we don't have that, it beeps and I've got that yellow light that's shining in my face constantly. So I took the dash all apart, trying to get to that bulb, but I found out that bulb is actually soldered to the board. And I really don't want to get into that, so I just did the good old trick.
You did not.
Yep. While I had it all apart, I just put some tape over it, back inside there. So no more bulb. No more light in my face, and that tape should last a while because it's in behind the plastic. Thought I was pretty smart. Or lazy. Yep. We'll go with the second part. So right now what we're doing, I want to do the locker switch bypass just because it sounds fun. In the Rubicons, the factory, you have to be in 4 low to get the lockers to engage, which is good. I mean, I don't really use them a whole bunch, but by doing this bypass, there's you can basically switch into the lockers at any transfer case position and basically at any speed. So we got to do this with purpose because you don't want to accidentally hit that switch when you're doing 75 miles an hour on the highway. That would be catastrophic, to say the least. So I was researching a little bit and I've seen a bunch of write-ups, but no real good videos on exactly what to do. So I've got the write-up, or a version of it. So I want to kind of go through that step by step and really show people who want to do this, if you're in the market to do it. So let's crack into it and see if we can figure this out. So here we are, ready to crack into this. I printed up a write-up that somebody else talented did, and it's just basically goes through the pins and everything like that. So I'm gonna try and follow this and walk through it and see if we can get this thing to work. So the first thing we got to do is obviously get all this apart again. So take the panel off, take the bezel off, and then get into here. So let's get all this out again for the 800th time without breaking it. Should have a couple of screws up there. Probably don't need to take this off, but I'm gonna anyway. Just because I can. Okay, should be the 2 screws back here if I put them in. Let's take those right out. Put those in there. There's that screw I lost. I don't know where it came from, but okay, and I think if memory serves me, this all just snaps in. There's got to be a couple of screws up there. Yep, there's one. So I did half a job when I put this together. Perfect. Holy, I could have picked a longer screw. Okay, so that should just pop out. Got a freaking 1.25" screw for that. Okay, so now this panel piece should just pop out. Ooh, I don't think that screw's ever been out. Okay, so once we're to here, this thing has never been out. I think I'm going to take this and clean it out. So what we're looking for here, this is the switch harness for the locker. So I wonder if I can. That is so gummy and bad and gross. I wonder if I can get these out without breaking them. There we go. I'm going to take that and clean it because I can. Put that up there for now. So, pin out. The color, I found out that the colors vary from rig to rig. They're not always the same. So what we're looking for is, if I look at the diagram, so pin 1, looking at it, so that's up here, that should be ground, which is black. And then there are a couple of different so I want to be able to turn the lockers on at any time. To do so, pin 1 is ground, and then you jumper to pins 4 and 5. So 4 is either the front or the rear, and then 5 is the front or the rear. And then I think they did a little update. Yeah, here it is. Once you have the 3 wires, you're done. So I helped another friend do the same modification. Pin 1 ground wire is black. The other 2 were not the same colors I mentioned in my write-up. So I think as long as we got the pins right, we're good. So pin 1. So it goes pins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So pin 1 and then 4 and 5. So pin 1 and then 4 and 5. So it should be purple with orange and whatever that color is. Yeah, something white. And then violet and black. Yeah, these are the same as the diagram here, so it should just be these two. So I'm going to try and splice into these and see if this works. Now there's a couple ways we can splice into this. We can try and pull the pins, but that gets sketchy. I think what I might do is just skin this here and skin this here. Okay, so I'm gonna go get the switches and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do here. Okay, so I went and got the switches. I don't need these. These are just a little push on, push off. So I'll do these for the front and then the rear lockers. So the intent is obviously just to break that, the ground signal is what triggers it. So I just need to basically tie this in and then tie this into the ground, and then away we go. And I think what I'm gonna do is put these down underneath the 4-wheel drive switch. so that I will never accidentally bump them. Or I could put them on this bezel. The big thing is I don't want to put them on a dash where somebody, hey, what does this do? You know, and just inadvertently hits these buttons. The other thing I could do is I have a couple of kill switches that are wired here in the dash. I could do that where you have to hit the switch and then push the button. That way it'll never, ever, ever happen. So I'm going to map this out and see how we want to do this, and then kind of go from there. And then I might have to run a little bit of wire through here to get over to the different switches. So I'm going to do that now. I'm not really going to bore you with all that, but I will show you which pins I definitely wired into, and we'll go over it kind of in detail. So give me a few minutes, and then I'll bring you back here as soon as I figure out this layout. All right, I'm back. So I did the whole schematic thing, and I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly how to do this for the configuration that I did. Like I said, a lot of the other videos that I could find were nothing. They just demonstrated that it worked. So here's where we're at. This was the plug I showed you earlier. This is the locker engage switch. So ground is obviously the black one. So what I did is I pigtailed off of it and ran a wire all the way over to this little blue switch. So off, on, right? So now it's off. And then I ran, let me get out. I ran a black wire from the other side of that switch that comes down to here, and it ties into both of my little push button switches that are right here. On, so front, rear. So the two black wires are just pigtailed together that come off the other side of this switch. So the ground wire from there goes to here, and then from here to here. Then from the hot side of the switches, or sorry, the load side of the switches, I have rear and then front. So I just have a wire that runs up and then ties into here. So for this, the configuration that I wanted, this diagram here said pins 4 and 5, which is incorrect. I found some other write-ups that say it's pin 6 and 7. So I took the load side wires and plugged them into 6 and 7. So now, when I turn the key on, actually I don't even need to turn the key on, but you won't be able to see the status switches. So I'll turn the key on. Now I'll turn my little switch down here on, and then I should be able to push one button. There's the front locker, and then there's the rear locker. So it's flashing because I need to roll the Jeep a little bit, but that's her. So there's my key beep and no light. So that's it. And then to disengage, it's just button off, and then boom. So now if I accidentally hit these buttons, nothing's going to happen. You know, if something falls and lands on those, it's just an extra fail safe. So that's essentially it. So just another little quick one to knock out, putting in the switches. Not super complicated, but it's just tedious. And if, you know, you're not sure what you're doing, then it's kind of, yeah. You know, I don't know why Jeep didn't do it right from the get-go to allow that option, but I think they have to wire it to the lowest common denominator. Because now I can engage that in any position, 2 high, 4 high, 4 low. So obviously this is why we have instructions on hair dryers to not use in the shower, and razors, electric razors, same principle. You gotta, you know, do it for the lowest. So anyway, that's kind of the step-by-step. Hope you find that helpful, and we'll see you on the next one.